Your mic.
Good evening. Call to order the Plan Commission, City of Franklin, Thursday, August 17th, 2023. Could you please take the roll?
Mayor Nelson,
Here.
Commissioner Hogan,
He said Nelson.
Nelson.
You hoped he said Olson, but no, he said Nelson. They did. Both Norwegian. Nelson's here.
Commissioner Hogan. Okay. Commissioner Haley. Here. City Engineer Morrow. Here. Alderman Day. Here. Commissioner Leon.
Excellent. Gordon, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. Going on to item B, approval of minutes. Approval of the regular meeting minutes of August 3rd, 2023. Do I have a motion? Second. We have a first and a second from Commissioner Hogan, Commissioner Haley. Any further discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Item C, public hearing and business matters. Regular, do you want to read that? C1?
Sure. Notice of public hearing, City of Franklin Plan Commission, meeting details, hearing date, Thursday, August 17, 2023 at 7 p.m. at the Common Council Chambers at Franklin City Hall, 9229 West Loomis Road, Franklin, Wisconsin, 53132. Proposal information, applicant is Bion Strength and Conditioning, LLC, Spectre Holdings, LLC, property owner. Subject property, 6814 South 112th Street, tax key number 748006300. The proposal is a special use request to allow for a sports training facility in a multi-tenant building located in the N1 Limited Industrial Zoning District. Sport training facilities are classified as physical fitness facilities under the Standard Industrial Classification Title 7991. This public hearing is being held pursuant to the requirements and the standards of Section 15.3.0701, General Standards for Special Uses, and 15.9.0103, Applications for a Special Use Permit of the City of Franklin Unified Development Ordinance. A map showing the property affected, full legal description, the application, and all supporting materials, and a special use resolution, and are available for review and may be obtained from the Department of City Development at Franklin City Hall. The proposed draft form resolution is subject to revisions following public hearing and the further consideration by the Plan Commission and the City of Franklin Common Council.
Thank you. At this time, we'll open up the public hearing. What's that? Special use public hearing, a motion to recommend what? I'm just coughing again. Approval of a resolution imposing conditions and restrictions for the approval of a special use for a sports training facility use upon property located at 6814 South 112th Street, Bion Strength and Conditioning, LLC, applicant. Are we good now to open up this hearing? Hearing is now open. Anybody wishing to speak on this, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Good evening.
(6814) South 112th Street, Spectre Holdings. I've owned the building for 6 or 7 years. Just speaking to, or just wanted to comment on, I guess, some of the recommended conditions of approval. The one that I, as the building owner, would have an issue with and would be unable to move forward with this tenant on would be the parking setback. I believe it's about 10 feet from the south lot line is what it's being recommended as a condition of approval. Not quite sure that that parking lot has been, and not that it matters, but that parking lot has been there for, 25, 30 years if you look at GIS maps. I did have it repaved last year by Suburban Asphalt, repaved in the exact same location it was in. I know there seems to be a comment about the width of the driveway opening. Again, when I have it paved last year, I repaved what was there. We didn't replace the culvert. You know, so I guess what my point is that, I understand this, my particular zoning doesn't allow for this use except for a special use, but I don't know why we would have to, meet zoning regulations from a different use. It's not an option for me as a building owner or for the tenant to absorb, the future tenant to absorb the costs of cutting 10 feet of parking lot out along the south side of the building. It's unfortunately not feasible. So, and I believe we are underneath the ratio for green space on the lot. That was provided. So it's not a matter of we have too much impervious surface on this lot and that parking lot is putting us over the edge. That's not the case. We're under the ratio for that. So if there's any issues, I guess, that are being thought of as far as drainage, there is enough green space on that lot. I feel that, we're under that ratio. The other things that it mentions under the conditions of approval is to stripe the lot. Right now, the lot is not striped, it's just asphalt. So that's no problem, we can do that. And then obviously they want they're requiring some shrubs and plantings. That's no problem either, so. But on our end as the business owner or the property owner, and it's too great of a cost for the tenant to absorb as well, would be removal of 10 feet of parking lot. So I guess we would ask that that condition not be applied to this special use. Any questions? I'm not sure if yeah, go ahead, Glenn.
So to comply with the required setback, if possible, maybe when it gets striped, parking stalls could be striped so there's a 3-foot setback.
I'm sorry, so you're asking if the parking spots could be?
Yeah, so if you're going to stripe the parking lot, could you at least stripe them so that the cars would be set back, so when they're parked in their stall, they would be have the 10-foot setback? Is that a possibility?
Maybe on a couple of the spots, but if you can see the up on the slide there, or on the overhead, I think we can get about 4 spots in the front there, but a couple of them would be along that south property line. And we could put a couple against the building as well. So I think the requirement's for 8.
Correct.
So, I mean, I guess if I got creative, I could do it if that was a sticking point, sure. The building next to me to the south, though, they have about maybe 10 feet of grass going right up to the lot line, which is where my parking lot ends. And, there's no traffic on that side. They don't use that for anything. They don't have any overhead doors, drive-in doors, dock doors, anything like that on their. Sorry, what would that be? That would be the east side of their building, the east side of their building facing mine. They don't have any access points there, just a service door or 2.
Is that going to cover it or not?
I mean, I appreciate the comment in the staff report. I really would like to see the whole area cleaned up, but considering all your neighbors, I guess personally I'm probably okay with the way it is. But if it's been like that for decades.
Correct, and not to throw anybody under the bus, but yeah, there's a lot of
You
that road
can.
isn't real pretty under back there, and
Yeah.
I think my building probably is one of the better ones there. I've painted the building, put in the new parking lot because it was so badly deteriorated, crumbling asphalt, regraded everything, re-landscaped, finish up with some shrubs.
Sure.
But at any rate. And I think I would like to point out too that Buy on Strength is currently in Greenfield. So it's a good opportunity too that we're moving a business into Franklin, and it would be a longer term
Agreed.
lease, which is good. He's an existing business too. It's not a startup. So that helps.
So if, Mr. City Engineer, if we could just again, so if what you said was we're able, or you're in favor of,
So I think I would, I mean, I do appreciate the comment, but I would probably strike that one. Which number would that be?
you're talking about?
For one? No.
Bottom of page 2. We have page.
Condition number 4.
Mr. City Attorney.
We're still at the public hearing.
Yeah.
But I recognize our citizens development
Yeah, I
are
Okay.
attending. But my thought was, it does provide an alternative. If we have a variance from the Board of Zoning Building Appeals, my thought was, recommend approval, subject to staff further review of condition number 4. I would look at the legal non-conforming status, et cetera, and I understand that it's a special use, et cetera. But I did hear alternatives from the property owner, and also from the city engineer. So that should be a little, instead of just striking at this point. Was my thought.
Okay, so I'll close the public hearing at this time. Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, anything more on that? So everybody's clear in the direction? Any further comments on that from Commissioner Hogan? There you go. Oh, there you go.
I'd like to know what you're going to do about there is no sign, there's posts out there, no sign in there.
Sir, you can sit, come to the table, please. Welcome.
The question was regarding, yeah, there are some posts out there. There is no sign though, so, it would be up to the future tenant to, go through the permitting process to get a signage approved for that location.
Okay. Okay.
Commissioner Leon.
Is the property owner or applicant, are you amenable to requesting a variance to allow for a reduction of the parking setback, subject to the approval of the Board of Zoning and Building Appeals? So would you apply for a variance to that to BZBA so that we can have basically the second part of this condition in there? And then to staff, would we have time to have this on the agenda for September 20th? So next BZBA meets on September 20th. If you request the variance, it would cover that, and you'd have a variance.
Yeah, I would say probably, I don't know what the cost of that is. I mean, if it's an absorbent cost, then obviously that wouldn't be something. Okay, well, if that's the way to make it clean, then sure, we could pursue that.
If it gets approved
If it gets approved here,
by a Board of Zoning and Building
right,
Appeals.
yeah, it would have to go before the Board of Zoning, Building Appeals, and the chairman just happens to be here.
And yeah, that's kind of what we're saying. So it also, if staff would, support that with those changes, that would help things.
I think it's actually in the staff recommendation, right? That's the last
And then
sentence.
BZ8 would, the Board of Zoning and Appeals would also have this copy there, so they would also be able to be educated on where this is at. And that should be good.
Yeah, if that's the recommendation, the cleanest way to do it, and that cost doesn't sound absorbent, so, I mean, if that's the way to move forward, we would try and move forward like that, with that.
Thank you, Mr. Leon. Anyone else at this time? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So entertaining, go ahead.
As a technical correction, highlighted, correction by the attorney, removing.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Martinez. Is it to be entertaining a motion on this?
So it sounds like, it sounds like we can take care of everything just by leaving it written. As here in front of us.
Oh, Mr. City Attorney.
And I would add, and understanding that staff will further review condition number 4 with regard to parking setbacks and the length of time the existing parking lot has existed and been used.
Okay. Yes.
You.
Motion. So motion to recommend approval of resolution imposing conditions and restrictions for approval of special forest stream facility use upon property located at 6814 South 112th Street by and Strength and Conditioning LLC applicant and as amended by city attorney.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Is there a second? We've got a first and a second to adjourn. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Kelly, you were out yesterday. Every time I tried to stop by, so, yeah, you saw my email. Yeah.